The Introduction to the Narcissist. Think about that for a minute. So, where were you when you met the narcissist? Did you meet them when you became their roommate? Did you meet them when you went to university? Maybe you met the narcissist on a dating app. Maybe you met the narcissist at a wedding. Maybe the narcissist met you at a funeral. Maybe you encountered the narcissist at the workplace when you were their boss. Maybe they were your boss. Maybe it was your neighbor. Wherever you met the narcissist, you need to understand they were watching you. They were observing you. They were making sure that you would be a viable source of supply for whatever period of time they wanted to capture you and trap you. The narcissist uses people up. They burn people out. And the introduction to the narcissist is one you will never forget. Perhaps you met the narcissist at a mutual acquaintance's birthday party. And perhaps the narcissist walked around you and maybe they sat about 8-9 feet in front of you, and next thing you know, you locked eyes. The rest was history. However you met the narcissist, they were watching you. They were observing you. They were studying you. If there were, say, 10, 20, 30 people in the room when you met the narcissist, if you were the person who was drawn to them, it wasn't just you, I can assure you that. There were other people, but the other people, perhaps themselves, they could have been toxic, or maybe they were already in different types of relationships. Or maybe the narcissist realized that you were the lone wolf. You were the person they were going to set their dirty fangs into or sink their dirty fangs into. Any way you cut it, the introduction to the narcissist is one you will never forget. Although you want to forget, you want to not, and I mean not ever, have to go back in time when you were where you were when you met them. But truth be told, you will be doing that every once in a while to keep yourself straightened out, to make sure that this doesn't happen again, and to remember and remind yourself that toxicity has two legs. Toxicity walks and talks just like you do, and toxicity comes in all different shapes, sizes, ethnicities. They speak different languages, and they will play any card that they possibly can. But the introduction to the narcissist for you, right now, I can assure you, you're going back in time and trying to figure out not only when you met them or how you met them, but where you were in life. Let's say you met them when you were in your 20s, as an example. You met them in your 20s, you were just starting off in life. Maybe you just graduated university, or maybe you just relocated or started a job, whatever you were doing. And next thing you know, this person comes into your life, or they enter your life. However they did it, and you were thinking, wow, what a good person. This person seems to be available. They're asking me questions. They want to learn about me. They are wanting to spend more time with me. And it doesn't matter what type of relationship this was with the narcissist. Perhaps it was a friendship, maybe it was romantic, maybe it was business. Who knows? But whatever it was, the narcissist was drawing you into their web deeper and deeper and deeper. And the deeper you were being drawn into that web of manipulation, the more you put your guard down. The more you put your guard down, the more the narcissist was learning about you. The more they were learning about you, the more they could extract from you in the moment, tomorrow, and at a later date. And the more they learned about you, the less attention they gave to you, because they began to take you for granted. And this is what they do with people. They take everybody for granted, whoever they get too close to, because they're not the new shiny object. They are not the new person. And once a person encounters the narcissist and they overshare information or share, and the narcissist knows all they need to know about that person, that's when that person has now entered devaluation stage. Now, devaluation stage, just like the narcissistic abusive cycle, it's not one size fits all. The experiences are all similar, but the devaluation stage for you, maybe it was only a couple hours. Maybe it was a weekend. Maybe it was a week. Maybe it was 7 years. Maybe it was 30 years. I can't tell you, but what I can tell you is the narcissistic abusive cycle, it's built on a house of cards, and it goes around like this. The love bomb / euphoric stage, that's when everything's new and the narcissist has their grubby little eyes set on you, or grubby little fingers set on you. Then once they know they have their hook sunken into you, devaluation stage. Devaluation stage is the longest part of the relationship. That is when you are deep and you're going deeper and deeper in the narcissistic fog. That's when perhaps you are in a trauma bond and you are being devalued more and more and more, and you are trying to get back to that love bomb or euphoric stage, but you can't do it. Then comes the ending of the relationship, which is known as the discard or the ending. However it ended. And the fourth part at times would be a hoover. You need to remember, become unhooverable. Get off the radar of the toxic parasite, the narcissist. Do not accept a hoover. Do not entertain a hoover. And be certain to close all avenues of communication down with said person. Having said that, when the narcissist was learning about you and they knew that they knew all about you, all they needed to know about you, you would be devalued. And then they began to do things like this, like these, triangulate you. What is triangulation? Well, I told you this for years. It's my least favorite thing that these creatures implement. But what it is, it's when the narcissist or a toxic person is inserting a third party into your relationship, whether it be for a few seconds, for a weekend, or for years, saying that said person, who may or may not even exist, and I hope you're following, and of course there's no script, that person is giving them compliments or accolades, or they're saying they're so nice. And it's not exclusive to that, but essentially think of it this way. You have two people in a relationship, and now a third party is inserted. Is that good? No, it's not. Now, for some of you younger people who don't believe in monogamy, you may think that that's great. Be careful. Be very careful what you're thinking about. Having said all those things, that's what triangulation is in a nutshell. Now, when the narcissist started to do that, they weren't just doing that. They were gaslighting you. They were smearing your name, smear campaign. They were throwing rage fits. They were ghosting you. They were giving you the silent treatment. Now, all of these behaviors and toxic mannerisms of the narcissist, you didn't know that they had names for the experiences. That is why you need to learn, and you probably have by now, the definitions in the glossary on the narcissistic abusive cycle. You didn't know what object constancy was. You didn't know what projection was. You didn't know what mirroring was. You didn't even know what narcissism was. Now you do, and you're learning it. And now you're understanding that the introduction to the narcissist, that's when it all changed for you. Everything changed like that. In a dime, in a moment, or on a dime, in a moment, whatever that expression is. Because now, once the narcissist had their eyes set on you, and specifically for this video, if you were interested in spending time with them, again, could have been romantic, could have been a friend, could have been a roommate, could have been business, whatever it was. But if you showed interest in them, now they know that they have something to work with. Now they know that you are open to communicating with them. This is in the early days. And if they know they have something to work with, believe me, they will put whatever little bit of energy they want to into that person to get them to do whatever they want them to do, i.e. manipulation. So all of these things I'm sharing with you take you back in time to which version of you were in when you met them, and you know that you were in the first version of you, which is not the strongest version. The first version of you is the person who didn't know about narcissism. You weren't educated on the topic, and you didn't realize that toxicity was out there in human form. Again, the second version of you is who you became when you were trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle. We know who you were when you were there, and I was there for quite a long period of time. It's when the narcissist is living in your mind rent-free. It's when you can do no right. It's when you're given endless to-do lists over and over and over again. It's when you're being sleep deprived. It's when you can't catch a break. It's when you're full of cortisol. It's when you are being counter-parented. You are not being co-parented with. And I could give you another 5,000 different reasons why, but that's a devaluation stage. And then that's the second version of you when you're being devalued. And the third version of you is the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind. That's the healed version of you. And that's what you're working on arriving at, is getting to the third version of you, or you're there. Anyway, you cut it. But going back to the introduction to the narcissist, think about this. Think about how many times, or think about how many people the narcissist meets in any one day. I'm referring to people directly or indirectly, or people that they learn about through the grapevine or are spying on social media or whatever. There are literally hundreds of people. Now you may say, there's no way there's 100 people the narcissist is looking at. I can prove that wrong in a second. Think about it. What's social media? It's social and it's media, which means the narcissist can make their own AI generated avatar or likeness, and they can make it seem like they are the most handsome or beautiful person on the planet, post it up on a social media platform and draw people into the honeypot. That's what these freaks, creatures, parasitical Ponzi scheme artists have been doing for years, and now you're understanding. So where do I come up with the idea of a couple hundred people? Well, think about it. If one person is talking to the narcissist, and that person talks to 2 people, and that person talks to 4 people, or each of those 2 people talk to 4, and those 4 talk to 8, see how it multiplies? This is why you need to get the wisdom. This is why you need to go no contact, and this is why you have to get off the radar of these people. The narcissist doesn't change. They can't introspect, they won't elevate, they can't ascend, and they definitely won't be accountable. All they need, and all they want, and all they search for, and scour and scorch the earth for, are unsuspecting people. or people who haven't broken the trauma bond. What do you think the Hoover is? The Hoover isn't when the narcissist is rearing their ugly head saying, I want to get back with you. If you think that, you would be wrong. The Hoover is the narcissist has nowhere else to go to, and they're looking to recycle a source of supply because they know that that's a safe space and they can get a roof over their head or food or water or shelter or money or time. See what I mean? Everything goes back to supply. That's why these people, these dark energy sources, they're not cut from your cloth. They're the polar opposite of you. They don't build and they're not committed. They destroy and they wear masks. They don't want to elevate and ascend and grow. They want to steal, decimate, and make sure that things don't exist. That's why when you were in this relationship, it was an energetic exchange. You gave all the narcissist, unbeknownst to yourself, all of your information, your wisdom, your love, your empathy, your time, your purpose, your ideas, hopes, dreams, aspirations, goals, and more. And what did they give you? Absolutely nothing. That's what they gave you. Nothing but a relationship you have to heal from. So going back to the beginning of the video, and I'll get ready to close it, the introduction to the narcissist, that day changed your life forever. And if you think about it for a moment, just a quick moment right now, where you were, what you were doing, what you wanted to do, where you were in life, and on and on and on, and then you meet this person and here you are now, think about what I'm sharing with you. This narcissistic, abusive, toxicity level of abuse that is littered all over the planet, it needs to be eradicated yesterday. You need to do your part as I have done my part by going no contact. When you do your part, that's one less avenue of communication the narcissist can slither off to. When I do my part, and I've done it thousands of times, then the narcissist can't penetrate my boundaries or yours. When someone else does that, then it helps us again and again and again. That's the ripple effect that's taking place all over the planet. The ripple effect is full of abundance, authenticity, boundaries, mindset, energy, positivity, and enlightenment. Yes, I said that. The old ways the earth used to be ruled and controlled was with an iron fist, by bullying, by deceiving, by destroying, by breaking, by gaslighting. Think about the word gaslighting for a quick moment. Before you knew what that word was, you probably thought, oh, it's just somebody's running out of gas and they have to turn a match on to find the gas station or something. Or maybe you didn't even know what it was. I have no idea. Gaslighting is one of the key ingredients to toxicity littered throughout history from generations and generations and generations. I'll say it again. And I'm going to say this, I hope one day I stop saying this, but if you think there's a script, you really need to get your mind checked. There's no script here. This is free flowing. The gaslighting concept, think about what I'm sharing with you. It's been going on since history started, since the world began, having one person doubt their sense of reality. The other person, when they can do that, is in control. Now, the one person who just brainwashed the other person or gaslit them now has two minds that they're controlling. When said person, i.e. the narcissist or a toxic person who gaslights another person into believing their false sense of reality, can do it to another person, now they have an army of three. The original narcissist and two pawns that are being led around on invisible leashes. You add a couple zeros to that, you've got 300, 3,000. You add a couple more zeros, see how toxic it is and see how gaslighting's been all around you your whole life. You just never knew it. You need to really use your discernment. You need to really understand that the introduction to the narcissist was not what you wanted to experience, but yet you did. That's why you have to take the lifelong learning lessons from the past. You need to not predict the future. You need to live in the present moment, the here and the now, and you need to understand that going no contact is the path. It will not be the solution, but it will definitely 1,000% help you heal. Now, will it be easy? No, nothing's going to be easy. Nothing worth doing is ever easy. The narcissist knows that. That's why they have all their toxic manipulating techniques, and that's why they have all the tentacles wrapped around said people, so it's hard for those people to get away from them. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you understand that you are not supply, but rather you are the beautiful, bright, shining light, you can do whatever you want to. This is when you can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book, travel the world, fall in love again. You can do whatever you want to, as long as the four ties of the narcissist are cut. And again, what are the four ties? They are the emotional, the financial, the physical, and the spiritual ties. They must be cut. I coined that expression almost 6 years ago. It's no more true today than it was back then. As a matter of fact, it's more true today than it ever has been. That's why you need to understand you're a different person than you were the day you were introduced to the narcissist. You need to step into the third version of you, embrace it, leave the narcissist in the past, and continue to move forward and as far and as fast away from toxicity as you possibly can get. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. A few things. The introduction to the narcissist, just think about it. Think about where you were in life, where you were literally that moment, what you were doing. There are so many layers of the onion to be peeled back with just the introduction to the narcissist. Here's an example. If only you didn't do A, would you have met the narcissist? No, you wouldn't have. If only you didn't do B, would you have met the narcissist? No, you wouldn't have. What about C through Z? Yeah, you wouldn't have either. But would you have met a different one? Yeah, you would have. And you may say, how do you know that? I don't, but I do know one thing. There are three versions of you, and the only way you could get to the third version is being through the cycle, coming out, healing properly, and that's why you and I are connecting right now. Last thing, do I wish you went through the cycle? Absolutely not. Do I wish I went through the cycle? No chance in hell. I wish I didn't, but guess what? I did, and I embrace it because now I'm changed forever, and I have the ability to pay it forward and help you out, and that's what I'm doing each and every day. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.